All right. What's going on? Hey, tonight. What's going on, everybody? Hey, tonight we are in San Antonio, Texas. Oh my God. What is going on? Peter? Hey, this morning we were in Dallas. Tonight we traveled about 3 hours to come down here to talk to the Paranormal Journal. What is going on, guys? How you guys
How's it
doing?
going? Good, man. Good. Thanks for having us on.
Hey, tell the world a little bit about the Paranormal Journal and what you guys are about.
Okay. So basically, we started this off during the pandemic. I had mentioned to my wife because during the pandemic, started off back in the day. I'd done paranormal investigations as a young adult and had done it for quite a bit of time and kind of fell off from it. My career at the time kind of took precedence over it and kind of just stopped doing it for a while. Ended up meeting my wife and having my kids and everything now. So when that happened, my wife really wasn't into it too much and didn't really think too fond of it. But then during the pandemic, when the pandemic rolled around, we were home and we had always noticed things at home, little occurrences that were happening here and there as far as noises, especially like footsteps upstairs. The typical, stereotypical, little events that you hear when you think of a haunting and stuff. And so kind of try to convince her to let me, reinvest in some, equipment and see if I could find out what was, causing it. And little by little, I finally got her to give in during the pandemic. And the reason we noticed it was just because if like during the quarantine and everything, when everybody had to stay home, we were home for a good 3 to 4 months, I believe. And, always being home, we kind of just noticed it more. And we saw a lot more happening in the home and starting to notice it way more than when we weren't on lockdown, basically. So finally she budged, she gave in and she let me, purchase some equipment. And, we started just doing our own little investigations there in the home. And the moment I think she finally really bought into it and was sold was, she was in the garage one day and our sensor to the garage door was clicking on its own, like if somebody was walking past the sensor. And she was just like, look at him, we should just go get something, go find, go get something for us to investigate with. So, we went down there and we conducted a little EVP session and literally, and if you go to our YouTube page, and I think we have it on our Instagram too, one of the first posts that we posted was a little EVP session we did down there, and we asked it to make the sensor go off or to make a noise again. And it faintly, you hear a woman's voice saying, hit something. And so when we first reviewed the EVP and listening to it on the computer upstairs, her face just like dropped. We looked at each other and I'm like, holy shit, like this is really cool. Like I was like, oh my God, we got something. And she was like, I'm going to bed and I'll see you tomorrow. Took off. And so a little bit after that, we just invested a little bit more into equipment. And I initially had a show where we went around talking to breweries and doing musical shows and stuff like that. And I hadn't been filming because of COVID. And I said, hey, this is the perfect time for I can do my filming again and I can go back into investigations again. And I started reading up on, new tactics, new techniques and new equipment. And the gear has changed tremendously since when I did it before. There's a lot more gear now and really cool things to use to investigate with. So invested a little money into that, called one of my other brothers up. This is my one brother, but I called another brother up who's actually working on his own YouTube channel. And he's a great source for us. And he is part of our team. It's called Hasta la Muerte Chronicles. He's just barely starting launching his page out there, but he does true crime. He does a lot of haunting stories, urban legends, myths, things like that. So I called him and told him, hey, I'm doing this project. I'm thinking about starting up a little, either a YouTube channel or something like that. And he was all in. He was like, dude, let's help each other out. I'll do stories for you and let's get rolling. So our first investigation ended up going to the Gunter Hotel, investigating the Gunter hauntings in downtown San Antonio. And my brother here was like, hey, what are y'all doing? You got a hold of me, you wanted to join. So from there on, it was like, okay, we got another member of the team. So came in with the camera. He got to experience it with us and saw what it was about. And what I love about him and my wife being on the team is they're very skeptical about things. They try to cancel everything out, debunk everything before we, conclude what it is. So it's good having that mindset on the team. And I of course I do too, but I mean, they're pretty gung ho that, they're going to debunk whatever it is that we find. So I love having that as part of our team going forward. So yeah, we started that off, and the Gunther was our first investigation as far as filming for the show. Since then we've done, we started doing residential investigations and going to other fun places for the show specifically. But I know lights are flickering. but yeah, for the most part, like I said, that's where it started, and we've just kind of gone through since then, and continue filming and doing investigations. So it's been a lot of fun.
Cool. Hey, it seems like you are well known around the community because when I checked your page, Mike.
Midnight Paranormal.
Yeah, with Midnight Paranormal and a couple other paranormal investigators down there, in the San Antonio area. Have you had the chance to meet any of those guys in person?
All through phone conversations, man. We haven't collaborated. We always talk about it. I'm going to be honest. My schedule is so whacked out. Like just getting my team together for an investigation because we're all so busy with our own personal 9 to 5s. So we've always talked about it. We always say we need to. I do keep in contact with Mike the most in the community. He's a great guy. He's always very welcoming and very cool, down to earth dude. I think our first conversation, for the first time ever, even just speaking, I think, man, we spent almost over an hour on the phone just talking about investigations and just our lives and stuff. So really cool guy. We really want to. I have even talked to some of the guys that are on our program with Paraflix. There's this other group. They're called they just Project Unknown. They just launched Project Unknown. And those are two other guys that I've talked to frequently here and there. But yeah, it's all been through conversations, man, wanting to, just collaborate and get together, but we honestly haven't. And I wish we had, but we really haven't yet. We haven't had a solid deal. I know we've touched base like at the Parafest at the Black Swan Inn. I know I got to talk to several people there and stuff, just hanging out, touching base. But as far as full-on investigations, we haven't had the opportunity yet, but I'm sure we will. I know we will. I want to.
Yeah, you guys, you guys are definitely will get together. I don't get down there as much as I like. I would like to go down there and hang with the guys, just see what they're about. But we are having an event. I'm hosting an event in March. It's called NSPS TV Paranormal Picnic, where it's going to be at. What the hell is that damn park called?
Woodlawn. I think you said Woodlawn. I think that's where the invite showed.
Yeah, Woodlawn Park. I'm not too familiar with parks, down there. But yeah,
I thought you were local. I thought you were from San Antonio.
No, I'm from Austin. I'm from.
Oh, okay.
I'm up in the Cedar Park, Round Rock area.
Okay, damn. Okay.
Hey, man, you guys are welcome, man. To join us. On that event, it is a potluck, so everybody should bring everything, food, conversation, merchandise.
I'm sure there's gonna be fajitas.
Yeah, just about everything, man. I mean, I want to go down there and just be able to meet everybody. I mean, if that's what it takes for me to get everybody in one place, then why not do it?
Yeah, definitely.
So I know Mike won't be able to participate, and I know I forgot her name. She's a female paranormal investigator out of San Antonio or San Marcos. I'm not for sure.
Sydney. I think you're talking about Sydney Reyes.
Yeah, Sydney. She won't be there. Also, two individuals I would love to meet. I've seen the video where she fell at the Black Swan Inn.
Oh yeah, we saw her right at that we were there for that. Yeah, we talked to her after. She was in good spirits. She took it like a champ. She was having a blast with it.
I bet she did.
Yeah, no, she's great. She's a real nice person.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. Actually, she was one of my very first investigators I had on the show once I actually launched this podcast. And and they been up and down and all around, but she's still out there doing her thing, and show a lot of respect for her, going through some, adversity, in her team and all. I think she got a new team going on. I've yet to have a chance, to meet, but I'm pretty sure that
Criminal Society, I think is what it's called.
But with enough said, hey, tell me, just a little bit about, your team, how many members you have, what kind of equipment that you deal with, and all that good stuff. And at the end of the night, I got a surprise for you two that will actually change the way that you investigate.
Okay, cool. Well, my brother Mike, I'll let them. This is my brother Mike. He's one for We're a team of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Steve, I've said 5. Yeah, a team of 5, including our cameraman. He doesn't like being on camera very much, so he prefers being on the camera. But I let my brother's here with me. I'll let him tell him a little bit about himself. So
yeah, Mike. I work with San Antonio Fire Department, so I get some time off to be able to help out with investigations. And like you said, the first time he invited me, well, actually, I kind of invited myself. He talked about the Gunther Hotel. And I work downtown area, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna go check it out. So I took off from work and went over there. And not being a skeptic, it was more of I saw that someone had made a comment about one of his shows, one of his broadcasts, and I was like, you know what, I'd rather try to help debunk my stuff as well, be from the outside looking in, to let them know, look, this could be this, or this could be that, so why don't we try to debunk everything? And so I kind of from being behind the camera, I was more of the behind the scenes kind of guy. I was taking pictures of them setting up the equipment, so we can have those photographs. And it started from there with the camera, and since then he's been having me hold that same camera, But
he's been in the shots. He's not just the camera guy. I tell him to speak up when he sees.
Yeah, I didn't. That's the thing is the Gunther. I didn't speak up when I should have, and I didn't know that because I thought it was just the camera guy, And yeah, it was a key moment in that
we missed out
investigation, and from then on, I have to say something else ahead, but
yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and he's a critical partner. Like I said, he makes the filming a lot more fun, and it's awesome how it came together. Just because it's all family, and we're all supporting each other, and we're all there for each other, and we're in close communication. So my wife being one that comes along too. So she doesn't get to come along as often as we'd like, but when she's there, she's a critical part to it. And then, like I said, I have my other brother Dan, who runs Aslam Up There Chronicles. He's basically like our case manager. He'll find all the dirt, man. We just did a building, a commercial building. It's a warehouse. This about 3 weeks ago. I think it was about 3 weeks. We did an investigation there. They experienced a lot of activity. And right away I called him up, told him the location, and he found out everything about that place as far as the history goes, who used to own it. He immediately tried to get in contact with the previous owners to see if they ever experienced anything there, and see if we can get any background on it, so we can go into the investigation with some knowledge and see if we get any responses that correlate with whatever the history of that building was. But Dan's a critical part, and then my camera guy, which is Steve, he's a great he's a professional photographer, videographer. So having him be on the camera, watching, looking at things anytime we have any type of a photo evidence that we want to review, he's great when it comes to reviewing any kind of video or photo evidence. He can look at that and tell us if there's anything with lighting, anything with any type of disruption with the film, the lens, all that good stuff. So he's a critical piece of it as well. So it just came together, man. I have a lot of good friends in good places. All my other friends are also videographers, so they help with coming and filming too from time to time. So it's a really cool experience to do it, and it's a lot of fun. Obviously, doing investigations is it can be boring sometimes, so it's not so boring when you have people that you enjoy being around, especially on those nights where you don't get anything at all. So it's been really fun doing it as far as with my team.
Okay, I am going to turn it over to Miss Jenny. Miss
Yes.
Jenny, what's going on?
Not much.
The beeping, the ring stopped. It sounds great now.
Yeah,
Unless
it
I
finally
haven't
stopped.
paid attention.
Yeah,
Hey, what?
I just randomly push buttons. But I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What have you ever had one of those moments where you're investigating and you just look at each other and say, did we just really capture that?
Couple of there's been more than one.
Yeah, the best one was him and Dan. You can tell that story. The Lisa.
Oh, this is where I didn't speak up. Yeah, the Gunther.
Really cool.
We had 2 rooms reserved, and we were my brother Dan. He was in the other room doing his investigation, and we were in the room. And when he started, Joey was asking about what's your name, and so forth. And I heard distinctly the name Lisa, as if someone introduced themselves to me. I heard Lisa, and I picked my head up and looked at him. I was like, "Are you going to say anything?"
I didn't hear it.
And he just kept asking questions. I go, and I didn't say anything, thinking I was just a camera guy. So it's his show. He's a spokesperson. Well, then later on, we went. What did we do? We went to a street vendor. We took a break at the street vendor, did some walking, came back, and our brother Dan was waiting in the lobby for us.
He was in the room next door.
Yeah, he was doing his investigation in the room next door. So we go up to him in the lobby. He's sitting there, and he goes, "Hey guys, I got something great." And started telling us about he was recording. He was asking questions, and he saw a shadow figure. And at that point, he said he didn't hear it, but he felt in his mind the name Lisa. And we looked at each other like,
So
holy
did you
crap,
tell
we
him,
just
like,
we just
dude?
finished the name Lisa as well. So
And we had no communication before that break. Like, we hadn't even told him, like, literally he was like, hey, I'm in the lobby, where y'all at? Are y'all still in the room? Whatever the case may be. We're like, no, we'll meet you in the lobby. So we hadn't even spoken about what we had experienced initially in each room. And the cool thing about this, if you don't know about the Gunther, the reason we investigated the Gunther was in room six. It used to be room 620. And now it's 636, or 636, and it's now 620. A murder occurred in that room. So, yeah, so unsolved murder at that. It's the first. It's one of the only murders that they know a murder occurred, but they couldn't find the body. There was a gentleman named Walter Emmerich that checked into that room with a woman in a red dress, never identified. But about 2 days later, after they spent that weekend in the room, a maid came into the room, opened the door, and saw him holding a box full of bloody sheets and everything. The room was just like a massacre had occurred in there. And he had actually purchased a meat grinder from Sears downtown a few days prior to that. So they know what he did with the body. But the thing is, they don't know who the body was. So we went in there. Yeah, we went in there looking for names so we can get a response. There's another detective and a private investigator who wrote a book on the whole thing. Daniel, like I said, Dan got a hold of him, and we found out that the actual name Lisa, through psychic investigations, has came up several times, which was another whole shit moment. So, yeah. So there's a lot that goes into that investigation, but the fact that they both heard it and out of just not even speaking to one another, that's a holy crap moment, if you ask me. So,
and then I think on one of the recordings we did the second time we went out, I think it was down in the bakery or the kitchen.
Yeah, in the kitchen area.
Yeah, we ended up picking up the name Lisa again on one of the recordings as well.
So yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, have you guys had the opportunity to go out to the 123 historical house?
No, I don't even know.
Woo. Hey, if you ever get a chance, in contact with Afterfly Paranormal. They're a team out of San Antonio, and they run that particular house. Now, this is one of the oldest houses in the state of Texas. This house is dated back to the to the Texas-Mexican War. A lot of historical people were, actually in that house. It was rumored that Santa Anna himself was in that house. And the house is totally creeped out, dude. We had an investigation there, and I've seen figures in doorways. I mean, it was a total creeped out house. I urge you guys, any places that you guys should investigate, it should be that house, because it not because of the history standpoint of it, but because it's one of the oldest houses in the state of Texas. And oh my God, dude, the house can't be no more than the size of 1,000 square feet.
Oh wow!
What's it called? What?
The 123 historical house. It's in Seguin.
I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, dude, the house is probably about 1,000 square feet. It's not that big, and they've added stuff onto it. I mean, the house has pretty much been not torn down, falling apart. But dude, and what's so crazy about the state won't even put it as a historical marker until there's more actual damage done to the place. And I'm like, and I went there and I'm like, dude, the house is here, okay, and then you got the fireplace attached to the house where the fireplace is actually leaning out. It was on the house, but it's not on the house anymore. It's kind of leaning to the side a little bit, and I'm like, dude, what proof do you need for that? This house it needs to be preserved, and for some reason, everybody that was kind of connected to the house actually came back to the house when they're passed away. They're in that small house, dude. You can nearly make contact with 8 spirits, 5 adults, 3 children. The children are very active. Now, there's the main woman of the house, and which we all know, women runs the house back then. I'm not saying that they don't run the house now, but they run the house back then. So when we were in there, the most curious spirit in the house was, guess who? The woman of the house. She came and went. Hey, when we were in the kitchen, she was in the hallway. When we went to the bathroom, she was in the hallway. Dude, it was so unbelievable. If you guys want to actually catch some true paranormal evidence, that is the house to go to, because you guys will not be disappointed at all.
Yeah, I've never even heard like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would definitely. I'm gonna send you the link to it.
Please.
Yeah, they were supposed to have the world's largest outdoor ghost hunt there, but something happened where it didn't take. It didn't take place. But if you put all the places you investigate and you put it all in that house together, man, that's how good the house really is. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed.
No, that's cool. I'll look into that. I know one of the historical places that I wanted to investigate, just because I've heard a lot of stories about it, and I live so close to it too, is the Onion House, which is over here off of Bandera Road by Leon Valley. And that's a small little house, and the actual Onion family burial cemetery is actually behind it too. You can there's a path that you can go into, and it's just a small little gated area. But apparently the Onion House has a lot of history as far as hauntings go, and people have experienced a lot of things. And it's a tiny little place. At first I thought that's what you were going to talk about, but I was like, man, there's no way to get in there. And it is marked a Texas historical landmark. So they have the sign in front and everything, but it's literally right next to a stay-in suites, like those weekly motels or whatever where they're it's literally sharing a parking lot with that, and then it's wooded areas. But it's someplace I've wanted to go to. But that sounds really cool, man. I definitely want to look into that. I've never even heard of that place.
You said the Onion House was a Texas. It was historical. You said they actually have the sign outside.
Yeah.
The good thing about that, Joseph, is the minute they took state money, that place became public.
Yeah, I've reached out. I never get an email back.
Yeah,
they find little loopholes to keep you away from it. But yeah, no, definitely, it is a public area, but they always have it gated off. I think a lot of times you have to either hold some type of event to gain access to it, which they're going to charge an arm and a leg just to have that event there. And that's where the kicker comes in.
Okay. Hey, Northwest Paranormal Research Group is on. Just saying hello. What's going on, guys? Hey, how you doing today, brother? And ladies, are you guys able to see the?
Yeah, real quick.
Yes. Okay. What about you, Joseph? Are you able to see the comments?
No, I can't see the comments. Are you on? Oh, here we go. Hold on. Give me a second. There we go. Yeah, I got you.
They'll be popping up as we go.
Okay, cool.
It just takes the time for people to come on, and realize what's going on. Mm-hmm. But I try to advertise as much as I can. I do understand that it is a holiday weekend, so people might not be able, to get to their phones and join a podcast. I totally understand that. Yeah, it was so crazy last night. I actually had a podcast last night. It's called NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast After Midnight. Now, this podcast is for adults and adults only. So put your kids to bed and let them join the podcast. Now, on this particular podcast, we actually talk about the wrongs and the rights of paranormal investigating. All the BS, all the drama. Because when there's good, there's also bad. Mm-hmm. You can't have one without the other. That's just what it is. So we discuss things on that channel that we can't talk on everyday channel because number one, I don't want nobody's feelings to get offended, and all that stuff. But sometimes the truth needs to come out about the paranormal, and everything just can't be hush hush. Shit has to come out, and you know, and that's the channel where you can actually do that. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's only on Friday nights at midnight. I don't do it any other days. You know, hopefully Friday nights everybody's good and drunk. You know, they can come on. You know, say what's on their mind and all that
I'll
stuff.
be joining you. I'll be joining you.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Hey, there's a question for you guys on that.
So I've never, well, it's all. I've never encountered that. I don't want to say that. I've only had one experience where I felt like maybe we were kind of pushed aside because we showed up at the same time and another group did. And I had heard stories about this other group, and like I will never name names. I'm never into bashing anybody or putting anybody's name out there. I'm not putting them on blast. But yeah, I've heard it. That's the thing. Like I said, I've tried to have a really good relationship with everybody that I've Oh, the question. I'm sorry. The question. Let me go. The question is, what do you think of groups who think they own areas or territories? But yeah, with that, I've never experienced it personally. At least I hope I haven't. There was one incident where it felt like it, but I'm not gonna speculate or assume. But yeah, I've heard stories, and luckily, I've never been a part of it. So, but I have heard several groups experiencing things like that, and I think it sucks if that's the case. I think everybody. I mean, what are you getting out of it? I mean, if the place is haunted, if there is a legit spirits, any type of activity there, any type of ghosts there. I mean, if they're there, they've been there, and if you're looking at going to a historical landmark and they're still there, they ain't going anywhere, man. It's been hundreds of years. There's no point in fighting over anything like that. I'm all about the as people like to call it, the para-unity. I would never blast anybody for trying to go to the same location I have. And if you think about it, a lot of the places we go to, we pay a lot of money to go to some of these places, and so does everybody else. So, I wish the prices were cheaper. If anything, that's my only complaint. But other than that, yeah, no, I've heard of it, but never experienced it. But I think
That's the next question that I have for you guys. San Antonio is so big. If I can name the state, the city, I think it's like what, the 26th, 27th largest city in the country.
Oh, maybe I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's only getting bigger.
Expanding it.
Yeah, it's only getting bigger.
It's only getting bigger. Before you know it, it's going to reach the damn Corpus. But anyway, dude, do you guys really? I mean, because me myself, I don't like spending a lot of money to go into places where 100 people has already been.
Yeah.
Joseph, are you or me and you about neck and neck on that, or do you don't? But you don't mind spending a couple of $100 to get into places like that?
If I had the money, I wouldn't mind. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, I don't. I try not to. And when it's a group and we all try to pitch in. So with me, because we do a show and we're a series that does a show, I definitely wouldn't spend the money if I'm going in there. So let me break it down this way. So residential cases and the fun places that we go to pay money for, I conduct the investigation completely different. One, because we only have one night in the places that we pay money for. So I will be honest, a lot of those places, it's fun. I would say that's ghost hunting. That's ghost hunting when we go to these places that we're filming a show for. When we do residential investigations where we deal with families and things that are dealing with, situations where they're bothered or just want to know, I handle those investigations a little bit differently, only because I know I have the time. I don't have to pay anything, and I know I can dedicate myself to going there and doing techniques and things that I won't be able to do in 4 to 6 to 8 hours overnight inside of a place that we're paying for. So if I feel the place is worth it, like Yorktown, Yorktown and Black Swan are two of the best ones here that we hear about. I'm not bashing the price. I mean, they pay what they pay because they know what they have, and that's fine. But for some of us, we don't have that in our budget. When I do have it, I would definitely pay it, and if I'm comfortable saving up for it, whatever the case may be, it's all good. But yeah, I totally just handle both those situations differently. But yeah, if I save up for it, I don't mind it. It's a fun experience. It's a fun time. Historical places, especially, like we paid to stay at Presidio La Bahia, which is the mission in Goliad. I mean, dude, who doesn't want to pay some money to stay overnight in a historical mission? And we didn't get a lot that night, but
it was windy.
It was super windy, man. So EVPs were out of the question. A lot of the stuff on the
banging
outside,
noises.
a lot of the doors were banging like crazy, and it definitely wasn't ghosts. But it was a blast. You know what I mean? So for places like that, the Gunter, I don't know if they've eased up on some of their I guess how much they allow to happen in the hotel, but you know, that night they were very generous, and we paid, you know, money, a good amount of money to stay in the 2 rooms, but they gave us full access to that place, and they let us experience a lot of stuff there. So that was a blast. So yeah, the money is worth it when you have it, and I don't mind paying it when we have it, but yeah, it's just 2 different scenarios when we go into it. So
Okay. Now, do you see, you guys, what is exactly your area of expertise in the paranormal? Do you like to validate and or do you like to validate and solve whatever problem that's in the residence?
the residents, it's definitely, yeah, it's definitely going in there. You know, it sucks because a lot of times they won't let us go back because we've already told them right off the top, like, you know, a lot of things, the orbs right off the top, they think it's going to be orbs, and it's not. I'll debunk cameras. We had one where it was a bug, and they thought it was something else, and it wasn't. You know, just I feel if anybody's ever going to take this serious, you have to go in there, you know, looking for the reasons why it's not before you start believing it is. And with residential investigations, we definitely go in looking for, and even this last one, the commercial building, we definitely we stopped using EMF meters because, you know, the spiking. We what was it, the tower on the outside? There was a tower on the outside, a cell tower. We thought maybe that's what was spiking the EMF. But that one was crazy because there was EMF readings like,
they were just fluctuating everywhere.
Like I've never seen my EMF meter spike as high as it did this time in that warehouse. And he has the same EMF meter, so he came in and he was like checking, and same thing. So just different things. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to use the EMF meter. I was like, I just feel like it's just, we can't explain why, but you don't think it's paranormal just yet. So the cool thing was we did use a light ball, the cat ball, and that sucker's sitting on concrete. Nothing moved it. There's no wind. There's no AC in the warehouse. It was warm as hell in there. And that went off on its own when we were investigating another part of the warehouse. So that was pretty cool. So we definitely looked at that. Couldn't figure out what stomping all around it. I was trying to debunk it. Yeah. So even when if we have the time, we definitely do as much as we can to try to disprove and debunk anything before we start really looking for the paranormal stuff into it. So,
okay. Who is the debunker on your team? Everybody should have one.
Him.
I try to be.
Now,
which I appreciate.
I mean, do you go in? I mean, because each team, investigates different. Are you the first one in when
No.
It depends. I mean, we go together.
Yeah, we go together at the same time, but I usually try to look at things from the outside.
Then you guys are the first one to go in the place, right? So automatically, creek, stairwell that's loose.
Take the scientific approach to it sometimes and try to explain things. But again, I want to make sure, we cover it from all angles. That way, someone doesn't come in and say, "Oh, what's this?" So I'd rather be giving him the criticism first and tell him, "Look, you may want to take a look at this again because this is probably what it is."
Give it to us. Hey, brothers always get it first. Hey, one thing that I've noticed about those cat balls is they're kind of sensitive. If you tap on them a couple of times, they'll go off. And if you step a certain way, they'll go off. But I got something for you guys that would definitely change all of that. You definitely gonna throw that cat ball away. Telling you, or give it to your cat. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have one, I got 2 I can give you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, Sydney? How you doing? Yeah, so definitely.
Northwest had a question. But sometimes
we got?
Owners get in, but have a view from that. Okay. Oh, definitely. I think, like I said, they have a business to run, and if places are definitely, they said, but sometimes we talk to the owners and we get in, but have a bad view from that group, and they understand to pay for the upkeep. But yeah, definitely, I agree. Like a lot of those places, they wouldn't be there without, I mean, obviously there's stuff that happens there and people get to experience it. I think, like I said, they're paying for an experience, and it costs money for a bunch of people to come in and actually, you know, be in their house or be in their building. It's maintenance. So like I said, I have nothing against people that pay that charge. It's just, you know, if I don't have the money, I can't do it. So
exactly. And to be honest with you guys, I've been an investigator for almost 3 years, podcasting for 2. And I can only tell you guys, I've only paid for an investigation once. And that was the old Larcart jail. We went to Larcart, a very historic place. We caught a lot of evidence. And I think I spent, $25 to get in that place?
nice.
It wasn't bad. And we had the whole night to do whatever.
Awesome.
But yeah, the old Lockhart jail. If you guys ain't never been there, check that place out. It's a historical landmark also. And it's not too, and what's so crazy about it, you would think it would be on the radar for a lot of paranormal teams and investigators, but it's not.
Why isn't it?
I have no clue on why it's not. Maybe because a lot of people don't know that it's not, that it's there, but it's there. And and what's so crazy about it, what are the people that run? I can't think of the name of the people that runs the place. Man, they are so down to earth. They will never charge you no more than $50.
We're gonna give them a call.
And you have the whole night to investigate it. I mean, most people would give you, okay, you got 3 hours, 4 hours.
No.
You got the whole night to do whatever the hell you want. You know
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's tons, and that's what I've been trying. So honestly, this past year, we've kind of taken a break a little bit, just because that's something I've been trying to just change things up a little bit. I loved doing, I mean, the investigations that we've done for the show that we've paid to go to have been amazing. Like the Lexington's one of them. I think they kind of raised their prices a little bit too, which is fine because they honestly look them up on their webpage. They're Blue Ghost Paranormal. Bill Miller is the one who runs that show there, and he runs the team there. He's your tour guide, but he does a great job of showing you the history of the boat and everything, the ship. I'm sorry, and everything. And that was one of the best investigations we've ever done. It was a blast, and I think it was just the history of being in that ship and going into areas that not the regular public gets to go into. But that one wasn't that costly, and I was amazed that it wasn't. So the minute I found out how much it was, I was like, this is a place I do want to go to, just because I love that place. So yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of places. So the year that we took off this past year that we've been kind of taking off, I've been trying to find new locations that haven't been really explored, haven't been investigated. And I want to see if maybe the energy is a little bit different. Maybe it's more intense. Maybe, because so many people go to these other locations, maybe it's not as, vibrant as other places that haven't been. So I kind of want to test that theory and see if we can go to some locations that have never been explored.
Okay. Yeah. Can I answer that question for you? It's totally, Joseph, dude, I can honestly say going to a place where there's been 1 million paranormal investigators compared to going to an abandoned nursing home where nobody's been into. Oh my God, dude. I can almost say the hair, the minute I stepped into that abandoned nursing home, the hair on my head literally stood up. And look, and I don't have any damn hair. So, dude, it is totally, and the thing about spirits they used to be like people, so they see things over and over again, and they kind of get bored of seeing it. But if you go somewhere where it's, hey, ain't too many people been, and if they have, they ain't been paranormal investigators. They probably been there to go sleep or get out of the cold weather or whatever. So when you go in there and investigate, and you have this brand new, K2, yeah, or something brand new that lights up, LED lights, entities and spirits want to be curious to know what that is, because number one, before they even passed away, none of that shit was even
Around.
heard of, thought of, and all that stuff. So it's something new to them. So they're going to come running, and they want to communicate. That they want to be able to touch, they want them to say wow, say your name, because most of them don't have that that communication with anybody. So but
No,
it's definitely, yeah, it's a big difference, bro.
yeah, and like I said, we that's what I want to try to get and try to film and document that. Obviously with our show, a lot of it's edited, never edited for entertainment purposes. We've never falsified any evidence. And I don't believe in that. I believe you can still put a show on and give some type of content creation for viewers without having to do that. So definitely, we know there's a lot of shows out there that probably do that. Like I said, I'm not going to put anybody on blast, but obviously, yeah, I want to go to a place where we can get a lot of evidence to where it just piles up, and we're able to just make this one episode where it's just like, holy crap. I have never been able to experience that. So I'm hoping one day we will.
We need to hook up, man. We need to do a joint investigation.
Most
because
definitely.
I can take you guys to some historical sites that would blow your mind.
Awesome. I'm all for it, man.
If you guys, I'm gonna throw one out there for you guys to go check out. It's called Dead Man's Hole. Jenny, you probably heard of this. It's in Llano.
I actually am not familiar with that.
Okay, well, this one here was back during the Civil War. I think Confederate soldiers came over here to stir trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And the regulars here was like, hey, man, keep that shit over there. We're not dealing with this.
Your friends. Okay. Oh, my brother's friends from work are always telling him that when he comes to work.
We're not dealing with this. So a big altercation broke out just on the outside of Austin in Llano County. There was a man-made manhole, which was, I can't tell you how many feet deep it is, but it's several feet down. So they took all these people, these Confederate soldiers, and threw them in that hole. 15 of them. Bam, bam, bam. You're convicted. Wow. Hey, you can't be doing this. Get out of here. So they killed them and threw them in that hole. Oh, and wasn't heard of from since. Okay, just recently, some knucklehead kids from out there in Llano decided to get some rope and climb down in that hole where they got caught. So they sealed that hole up with big old man cover. And they're like, well, we can't have, kids down here trying to, figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But so they put a man cover there, and we went out there and did an investigation. And I can honestly tell you, Joseph, that one of my members, his last name is actually one of the same last name as one of the people that were thrown in the hole. Oh. And it stirred up all kind of trouble. Okay, Confederate soldiers don't go good with black men. Hell, I'm telling you now. But they told me on my audio device, they told me to kneel. They said kneel. And I said, hold up, man. I kneel for no man. Maybe for a woman, but not for no man. And dude, it just went crazy. It seemed like they were targeting me just because, I am a black man. And, back in those days, I should have been in a barn somewhere, But it seemed like they were, they were attacking me. Dude, I actually fell down. I think I was pushed, because I was walking, and next thing you know, I was on the ground. Oh, wow. And I'm like, how in the hell did I end up down here? But check that place out, dude. If you guys want some, some evidence that are mind-blowing, they're definitely out there. Awesome. Llano is probably, it depends on what side of San Antonio you live in. Llano is probably a good 2 hours from you guys.
Okay. So Oh, Northwest put GoPro with the string. Yeah, I definitely would. Yeah, the GoPro's a great tool, man. I love it. My brother Dan is the one who uses those more than anything. He has a ton of them actually. But believe it or not, his luck with GoPros actually pick up really good EVP sound. So their sound is really good from the 6 up. I think it's a 6. He's GoPro 06, I think so. But yeah, the GoPros are a great tool, man. And EVPs, when he walks cemeteries a lot. He knows cemeteries like the back of his hand here in San Antonio, especially the really old ones, the oldest ones. He's had a lot of luck with GoPros, man. They work out really well.
I don't even use my GoPro. I've used my GoPro once. I bought 3 of them, and they've been sitting in my case ever since. I never even use them anymore. For the simple fact, what I'm going to show you guys is going to change the way that you guys investigate. I can almost promise you. I'm not saying that you can keep your cameraman, but here's the thing about cameras, Joseph. When your camera guy is video recording and he hears something, what is the first thing that moves? Is it the camera or is it his head?
No. Honestly, when he uses, it depends. He does have gear, yeah. So yeah, he has gear. So basically, it depends. Sometimes if he's doing freehand, yeah, obviously it's gonna be the camera. You know, he moves the camera.
Are you sure?
I mean, yeah. I think so.
Our body is set up for our eyes to turn first, no matter what. If you hear something that go bump in the night, the first thing, if you're holding this camera, the first thing that you're gonna move is your head, because your mind. And
I understand.
Yeah. That's just the way. That's just the way we are. So we're gonna turn. Then we're gonna turn the camera. Now I'm not saying it's gonna be 20 to 30 seconds before your hand actually reacts towards your head. You probably give it a couple seconds. But how long does it take for some, a spirit to do something? Then it's gone. Mm-hmm. It probably take less than a second, because these little boogers are super fast. So the time you hear like a thump and you turn your head, it's gone. So can imagine another 2 seconds or 3 seconds before you turn your head, then you turn your camera, it's gone. Mm-hmm. So what can we do to actually catch that footage that your head and that your eyes are seeing? I'm going to show you. Got you wondering, don't I?
Yeah.
I think but I'm going to turn it over to my friend Jenny, because I'm pretty sure she's got some questions for you guys.
Well, I guess, what is one of your favorite places you've investigated?
In Lexington, hands down. Lexington was a blast. The Lexington, yeah, like no question about it. I mean, the Gunther comes in right there just because the Gunther was just like wild too. But the Lexington, the intelligent responses we got from that place was just like, it was just crazy. So like whenever we get like a really good like actual intelligent response, I always say goosebumps. Like that's my thing. I don't know why. I automatically feel goosebumps. Yeah. I don't know how many times I said it there. And then just like I said, the history in the rooms that we got to explore, and hearing about what had happened, believe it or not, oh my God, there's so much of it. I mean, obviously with it being a battleship or a ship that was in battle several times, many people, passed away there. And then getting to explore some of those rooms and hearing the stories and how it happened and getting to use that to investigate and ask questions and then getting some responses was just wild. So I think it was a fun location. And like I said, the responses that we gained was really cool.
We went in having an idea about the play, because the history of it, of what type of ship it was and so forth. But we specifically asked our guide not to mention certain things, not to let us something. And he was on board with it to let us do the investigation. And once we were done, he went in and critiqued and give us the stories that have gone, because he keeps journals of all teams that go through there. So just the comparisons of the evidence that we collected and that other teams or other people have collected as well is just
what is your favorite piece of equipment to use during your investigations?
I think, I don't know if you have a specific one. I mean, now I really fell in love with the tripwire. If you've seen it, the tripwire, the EMF tripwire, which is, a long cable extended with the EMF lights on it. That one's been pretty cool just because testing it in several areas. One was a cemetery, and using it in the cemetery, I've gotten some cool little responses there. But then when you go to the location and I try it out there, I want to see if it's going to do the same thing it did, in those other areas, to see if maybe it's like the batteries. I don't know what the case may be. Like we just recently, when we did the old Holiday Inn downtown, which used to be the old Bexar County Jail, where the last hanging and the public hanging in San Antonio took place. We went to one of the rooms there that was noted to be pretty active. We got nothing from it. It didn't trigger off once. It was just stuck there in a solid color. And now, going to the cemetery and trying to do different things there with it, it actually got a few responses there. And like me standing next to one of the lights and asking if there was someone there with me to stand to the side of me, stand on the opposite side of the rope. And sure enough, the two lights right next to my feet are the ones that lit up, like, things like that. It's a lot of fun to use that item. But yeah, I think the tripwire has been the most fun so far. Of course, EMF readers is always a good one, just to, take a scope of the area, get any readings to see what you're going to not allow to be used in your investigation. So, but yeah, I think the tripwire so far.
Okay. And there's a cat ball.
A giant size. This is no longer a cat ball. This is a dog ball. It's the size of a softball.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool. Hey, and the great thing about this, guys, it lights up, but it also plays music when it lights up.
Nice.
And it plays different tunes. So any certain spirit out there is like, hey, can you play this certain tune for me? If the spirit has that much power to actually do that, that would be great. Yeah. And you know what else? You can't lose it because it's so big. You actually find 4 glasses. Dude, you can't believe how many cat balls I done lost in the cemetery. So that is a cat ball. Now, you guys said something about the tripwire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I use these.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys use these. These things here are about 40 centimeter long, and I pretty much use them like a doorstop because I put them in front of a door. And the one thing when you do a house investigation is you don't know who's entering the room with you, because the one thing that I've always asked is there a spirit here? And if you are here, can you please enter the room through the front door? Can you come in through the door? And how do we know? By putting these bad boys in the front of the door, because they're long enough to actually fit in between the space. It's able to set off these lights. Now I'm going to show. I built these myself, so I'm going to show you what these things. Shit. Well, I was going to show you, but my little. Oh, hold on. Okay, so let's see if I can get this right. My little charger is dead, but these things actually light up, and they're pretty cool. I do them different colors, so I'm not for sure what colors they are because they come in different colors. But I put these right in front of the door, and just ask specific questions. If you guys have come through the door, can you please light these up? And if they come through the door, you'll be able to notice, because these things light up pretty bright. Kitty, get down.
Play with the ball.
Well, can't play with these. Also, I don't know if you guys
I've seen those. Yes.
They're pretty cool. And they're a little bit hard to
those take a little bit more pressure to.
a little bit more. You actually got to hit these damn things for them to work.
Mm-hmm.
My cat has one of those. I don't know why, but she's scared of it.
So, but just a couple of toys that I have that that when I investigate, I try not to investigate with everything that everybody else has. Sometimes, like you said, you got to think out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, my team has a brother called Brother from Another Mother. Love him like my own. He there actually made things like in a saloon and a fun. He says, shit, bro. But
That's very
okay, that's funny. Hey, one thing I do try, to
Oh, he signed out. Good night.
yeah, paranormal investigating is a universal thing, dude. And if your interest is in it, I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're damn Martian. If that's what you love to do, then you should pursue it. But do your research on it before you do it. Because I don't want you just to climb into something that you can't handle. I see a lot of new paranormal teams out there that are doing exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, and that's where we rely on our other brother, Dan, Hasta la Muerte Chronicles. He's the one that does the research for us. He even gets connections or finds out different locations for us. And he gives a little background on it. And we don't want to know everything about it. That way, it kind of takes away from the unknown to when we go in and investigate. So we want to be able to find things out for ourselves and then get the comparison. But Dan is our real big asset for that.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool. I did these myself. So different colors, and they motion descent. They motion. Bam.
That's
Pretty
awesome.
cool.
That is really cool.
Different colors and everything. But you say there's 6 of y'all?
Five. It's me, my brother, my other brother Dan, our camera guy, and my wife.
Okay, we know your camera guy can't be everywhere at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about if I can show you something that can actually be like that 6th individual that you actually need, so where you can actually be everywhere at one time? Because the place you be or the place you're going to might not be the most haunted location. It might be the place that you just left. Might be the haunted location.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what about if I can tell you I got a friend that can help you out with that?
Okay,
I'm all ears.
You all ears?
you're trying to get rid of my job. That's what it is.
No, I'm trying to help you out, bro. I'm trying to help you out. You know what this is, right?
Yeah, look at the post for the phone.
It's called a Pygenie.
Oh, I didn't know the actual term for it. Okay.
This little bad boy tracks unknown and known objects. 365 degrees all the way around. The only downside, guys, is it doesn't track up, but it tracks all the way around.
Okay.
Now, if you put this in front of you, it would literally track you, Joseph, no matter where you're going.
Oh, wow.
It will follow you. So this right here is if I was to have my 6th man on the basketball court, this would be my 6th man. He would be my 6th man. He would be my MVP because he will be there where I won't be. And he's able to follow and track everything that comes in front of it. Now, only thing you have to do is get a camera, a phone that you don't use, that you really don't care about. Hook your Wi-Fi up to it, or your what is that called? Yeah, hook your Wi-Fi up to it because how can I say this? If you want to be able to, well, no, you don't have to hook your Wi-Fi up to it. The only way you hook your Wi-Fi up to it is if you want to go live. You can go Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and you can leave this, and it'll go.
That's awesome.
What's the point of that? you want to able to capture videos and not so much photos, but you catch videos of places where you want to go. So you just put your camera in here, connect it to the camera, and put it on video. And once you put it on video, you're ready to go. It's just that simple. Put it on a tripod. Now, don't go out and get the most expensive tripod because somebody will jack you. So you want to put it on a tripod that's least expensive.
No, that's cool.
That you're good to go, bro.
That's awesome, man. Patent pending?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna save the best for last, but in the meantime, I'm gonna turn it back over to my buddy Jenny and see if she got another question for you guys.
Do you have any advice for those who are just starting out as paranormal investigators?
Don't go in expecting to see evidence. Go in hoping. If you're really going into a location, a lot of times doing this for so long, it can sometimes be boring. So you need to go into it really wanting to really look at it as capturing real evidence and not going into it seeing what you see on TV all the time. Like I said, when we edit stuff for our stuff, it's always, we're obviously putting in stuff that's going to be a little more entertaining, but you could spend 8 hours of filming and looking for evidence and trying to capture evidence. And it takes time. So especially the paranormal hangovers, or what they like to call it, where the next morning it's a tiring thing. It isn't easy sometimes. It is fun, but it takes a lot of work if you're really trying to capture evidence. I've reviewed videos from investigations, from hours of videos, and sometimes it takes me another week or two of reviewing again, and then finally I find something because I actually paid a little more attention to it, or whatever the case may be. But it's fun. But like I said, you can't go into it expecting to see what you see on TV. If you're going to want to do this, if you want it to be a real thing, you have to take in consideration, like I said, you have people that will look at it from the outside, looking in and knowing that it's not always paranormal. I'd say 99%, it's probably not. There's probably some type of environmental explanation for it. And it's just one of those where you have to really take it for what it is. And when you find that one thing that happens that you have no explanation for, that's like the coolest feeling in the world. And it's a lot of fun when that happens, and it's well worth it if you really want to invest your time into doing something like this.
Okay.
Cool. Speaking of, let's change the subject a little bit. Let's talk about Hollywood and how they portray paranormal investigators. Some good, some bad, some But what do you think about Hollywood and how they portray paranormal investigators?
Do you have an opinion on that? I mean, I have my own, but Hollywood.
Go ahead.
I think without it, there wouldn't be so many people that get into it, and then later maybe find out what it's really about, and then really take a serious approach to it. So I think it's really cool. I mean, honestly, that's what made me want to do it as a kid. It was, hearing all my family stories, the urban legends, the all the things that they've experienced as families. Growing up, I heard all those stories, and then seeing stuff on TV, looking at I mean, I'm not going to say this, but like Ghostbusters, I'm not saying stuff like that, but like seeing stuff like people see now, like The Conjuring and all these things. Yeah, The Conjuring and all these movies that exaggerate it so much. It came from something. The Warrens were a real thing. Whether or not they were, legitimate, there's all these contradicting stories, but Hans Holzer, a gentleman who took his craft very serious as far as investigating the paranormal. I think it brings people into this world of the paranormal and looking at it, excited about it, and then they come into it, and some stick around and see that, hey, this can be a real thing, and it is a real thing, and then there's just the people that like what we do, we create content for them that just enjoy it. So I think it just brings a lot of people together. My first time doing the Paranormal Fest, and this year when we went and we had a booth set up, talking to people and just the interest that they had in it, it brings a community together. You're doing a picnic with paranormal investigators, we're networking, you're meeting new friends. I think it's a really cool community. I think it's a lot of cool stories. So if that's the most that some people get out of it, great. It brings some people together, and it's a cool vibe, and Hollywood plays a big part in that, because that's where a lot of this starts off. People who doesn't like going to the movies and feeling scared? And that's what I mean. I'm hoping to get freaked out on investigations where I'm like, holy shit, yeah, the excitement of that adrenaline rush, So hopefully that does happen. But Hollywood plays a big part in that, man. And you have to understand, a lot of people are like, oh, it's fake and yada yada. Okay, well, if it is, you're still watching it, so enjoy the ride, man.
It's true.
That's entertainment. That's what Hollywood is. Yeah. You can't complain. It's Hollywood, bro.
Yeah, they hype it up a little bit,
Yeah, you are true about that. But how do you think the paranormal would be if you throw out the money aspect of it?
As far as what, like
Hollywood, if you throw out the money aspect of paranormal investigating for all those guys that came out before us, do you think that they be able to be successful as they are or as they were or as they are today if we just take the money out of it? Or would some of the evidence that they discovered and found would actually be legit? Or would it be just made up, kind of,
Yeah, no, well, like Northwest put on here, like when I gave the example of people going into this, like think out of the box, people, you can do powder on the floor, or like the cat balls, stuff like that. The simplest things, like honestly, paranormal investigations literally started off with paper and pen, a simple camera, maybe. If you take out the money away from it and you're able to just still document research, Hans Holzer, I think that's a prime example back in the day. It'd still be a thing. I think the world has always been fascinated by the paranormal, especially when it comes to urban legends and myths and things like that. It doesn't just end with ghosts. It doesn't end with past life experience. There's the myths of vampires and werewolves and the Loch Ness monster and all that. To me, that's all paranormal. Out of the normal, actually. So I think it's still a thing. I think it's always been a thing, and I think that's why we have what we have today, because it's just grown tremendously, and money has only made it grow even more. So without the money, I think it'd still be there. I think the fascination is always going to lie with the people and what they, and then of course panic and hysteria plays a big part in that. Unfortunately, and unfortunately that plays a part in the negative aspect most of the time. But it's still pretty cool, and I think it would never go away even without money.
Right. Tell me some of your urban legends that are down there in San Antonio.
Oh, man. Oh God.
Donkey Lady Bridge.
The Donkey Lady Bridge is one of them. It's one of the. I know Midnight Paranormal goes down there. They said they've gotten some evidence out there. I've never honestly. I've gone several times, but never to investigate. Just a party. Honestly,
party location. Yeah,
it was a party location back in the day.
Yeah.
I've drank there plenty of times, but as far as experiencing any kind of paranormal activity, I never have, but I've never gone to investigate it, so I can't say that I've captured evidence. But I believe it's a half donkey, half woman that was a creature that was there at the Donkey Lady Bridge, and I don't know if she would come on and like attack. I really don't know the legend. I just know it's the Donkey.
There were stories in elementary school that she was in the restroom, and so forth.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that go behind that. Obviously, we have lechuzas, which are witches that turn themselves into giant owls. They attack people. There's a lot of whistle that they do, or you're supposed to whistle.
Scream. You're supposed to cuss them out.
You're supposed to cuss them out to make them go away. Yeah. There's actually a cemetery here that we plan on investigating that we want to go to. We visited it a few times, but we have documents of two deputies that we know of that actually told us that they went in there for a call, because it's right across the street from an elementary school. And they actually went to the cemetery because they get calls of people trespassing going to the cemetery. Well, at one point, these deputies showed up and they said they saw two women scratching at the dirt by a tree. And when they shined the light and yelled out to them to see what they were doing, they went behind the tree. When they went behind the tree, they didn't come out, and then apparently two big giant birds flew out from behind the tree. These are accounts from deputies that responded to a call and just basically said, "The hell with this!" Bailed out, got in their patrol vehicles, took off. That went viral a few years ago, where the two officers in the graveyard, they hear the scream and they split. Yeah, it's basically, if you can think of that video, that's basically what this was, but with two women that ran behind the tree. So we've been trying to get a hold of them because we definitely want to do an episode on that, so we can get access to the cemetery. And it's off of a FM road in San Antonio. So that one's a really cool one. I mean, as far as the typical ones we have is there's one that I'm trying to do a short film on. It's the devil. Back in the day, it happened in several cities too. The devil, a girl snuck out of her home one night, disobeying her parents, and went to this dance. And while she was dancing, she found this very handsome man and danced with him on the dance floor after he invited her on the dance floor to dance with her. And as she looked down, she saw his feet was the foot of a cow, a hoof. It was a hoof, some hooves, and it ended up being the devil. And he ended up running off out of the club, and he left the smell of sulfur behind. So that's another cool urban legend that we've had here in San Antonio. There's tons, man. The club was called El Camaroncito. El Camaroncito, I think was the name of the club. It was off of WW White Road back in the day. So that's a really cool one too. So a lot of fun urban legends. The Hispanic community is filled with them, and San Antonio is really big on that. So it's awesome. Cool stories to tell your kids.
Now, the one that really throws me really up, I've talked about it a lot on my podcast, is the West Texas black-eyed children. I don't know if you guys ever heard of those.
It's something of it. I don't know the full-on story.
These guys pop up in the middle of nowhere. It's been documented. They'll pop up. They'll pop up at truck stops where truck drivers are asleep. They'll knock on the door. Wake the truck drivers up and ask them, can they come in the cab and all that stuff. They're well documented from El Paso to Midland to Odessa, all points west. And for me, if I ever see the little boogers, I'm going to run their ass over. But these guys here, they always come in 2s to 3s. And, they always seem to knock on somebody's door and just ask to come in. Now, and it's always late night. It's never in the mornings when these guys pop up. Now, we don't know. They don't know if they are little alien kids or they are, but hey, we've never seen them in the hood. They know better.
That's hilarious.
Let them come over here and see what happened to them. They know better. But yeah, these guys here, man, they're well known in West Texas for being mischief, very mischievous. Like I say, knocking on doors and running away, and weird things like that. I've never heard a story on one being, hurting anybody. Just want to come in and just be very mischievous about everything. So just want to throw that out there in case you guys are ever out in West Texas.
No, that's a cool story.
And Marfa, I think they've seen them as far as Marfa.
Okay.
But yeah, those very interesting guys. Yeah, don't let me catch them in the hood. That's your ass. I'm going to turn it back over to my buddy Jenny and see what she has to say.
Well, I just had a question, but I forgot it just now. So do you have any upcoming investigations that you can at least give us a look forward to?
So we're still working on the one with the warehouse. We're working on that one. We're definitely going to go back and see what we can pick up there. Like I said, this last time we experienced just a little bit as far as we had a REM pod that went off in a bathroom where we had heard a stall door close. We believe it was a stall door that closed. So the warehouse is kind of one of our priorities right now that we're trying to work on, just because we were given the time to do that. And we really want to just keep investigating it and spend our time with that one. But we are going to go back to the Holiday Inn, which we spoke about, where the last person was publicly executed here in San Antonio. It is a really cool old historical building. We're trying to book the room. Apparently, there's a room that still has the drop chute where the bodies were dropped. So we're trying to stay in that room, obviously, and see if we can get any type of energy from that room and get any kind of responses that we can try to pick up. And it's really cool. Like I said, it's considered a historical building. So the bars on the windows are still there. It's really neat, but very small hotel. So we're working on that investigation itself. And like I said, I've been pulling up some other locations throughout Texas that have been known to be haunted, and not a lot of activity has been captured or visited for that matter. So I want to try to get some locations that we haven't heard about, or a lot of people haven't heard about and gone and investigated. So that's the plan right now.
Okay.
Get back on track. Like I said, a lot of things have happened personally for me this year that sidewinded us, and so I've just been focusing on looking at the locations that we're going to start doing this year coming up, and get back on track and start going things. We've had residential investigations that we've done, but like I said, it's one of those where it led to finding out that it wasn't anything paranormal. It's just there's explanations for everything as far as what was happening in those homes. So now we're just focusing on some other ones. So if anything comes along the way, definitely we're gonna go and investigate, especially with residential phone calls that we get.
Yeah.
Okay. What do your parents think about what you guys do?
So yeah, it's my dad. My dad he's a deacon actually. I love my dad. He is very supportive. Anything I've ever done, as crazy and stupid as it's ever been, I am one of those guys. Man, I've been a professional wrestler. I've been a deputy. I've done I'm a filmmaker, and all these ideas and everything that I've ever done in my life, he's been 100% behind me.
You're in a band.
I've been in music. I've done music. I've done film. My dad's been there for all of it. And this one, even though it's with his Christian background and beliefs and what he does, and never downplayed it once, hasn't tried to get me away from it. He'll say a spiel from time to time, and I respect that, and I listen to it, and I take it for what it is. But has always 100% backed me up on it. And we have another brother who obviously we would bring along too, but he's very involved into Christianity and follows that path, and which is great. And I totally support that as well. But once again, he has our back 100%. He'll watch clips that we post, and he'll make fun of us. He'll make fun of us. But always out of support and love, and it's amazing. So yeah, I have no complaints on my dad's side. Always backing me up 100%, backing us up now since we did this together.
Hey, how far are you guys willing to travel?
If I can get there, anywhere.
Yeah. Anywhere in the state. I mean,
I'm trying to get to our cousin. Our cousins are in Germany, and there's tons of places up there that they can tell us that we can go to. Saving up for that trip. I've gone as far as Salem, but Salem is very protected, very, very respected and respectful as far as how it goes. You got to really know people down there in order to get into some locations. I visited the burial grounds and the memorial for the Salem witch trials. You're not even allowed to get off the small path that they have in that cemetery. So I took gear and everything up there, but unfortunately, it wasn't. You weren't allowed to do very much. Like I said, you got to kind of have the connections on locations there. So,
oops, I gotta use the bathroom.
Oh, you're fine.
I would have just walked right on off the path.
No, yeah, it's insane, man. When you go and hear the story and how it really happened and how it occurred, and learning what those women and some men went through to being accused of being witches, and seeing the actual memorial and the stone slabs carved have flowers, and then they have exactly how they were pressed to death, hung, burned. It's so surreal, and you're just like, oh my god, like this is insane. It's such a historical town. It's beautiful. Anybody who's never gone, never go in October. It's just a Halloween town, and it's crammed to the bone. Like move anywhere, but we went in like June or July, I think, and amazing. It's a beautiful town, awesome place to go to. I totally recommend going just to learn some history about that place.
Oh, okay. Now, you guys got a bucket list. I'm pretty sure you said Germany. I'm pretty sure this is probably on your bucket list. You guys had a bucket list on where you want to investigate. Where would it be besides Germany?
England. England. All the castles, the dungeons that they have down. I mean, and the paranormal is so huge. I think a good portion of what we have on our followers, they're all from the UK, man, and they have so many people that are into it over there. I think just maybe because they get to experience it so much. But the UK is definitely a spot. If I know I'm going out there, I'm gonna try to find the coolest place I can to get there and investigate. There's tons of places down there that they say they have. we have some friends that investigate up there too that we've been real cool with as far as the paranormal community goes. So yeah, the UK is definitely a bucket list. I just, like I said, exactly where I wouldn't know at this point, but Germany and the UK are the two places I'm trying to get to.
Okay, and your brother?
I don't know why the Alcatraz keeps coming to mind. Just a lot of bad things have happened, I'm sure, in there
That's
can.
why they closed that down.
So, I mean, I just that place just pops in my mind. Someplace I would love to go. And,
I mean, I've talked to a lot of people out there on the West Coast, Oregon, Washington, and that's one of their main things. They want to go to Alcatraz, but the only problem with this, man, they pay big bucks to investigate that place, and I mean several thousand. If I'm right, if you want to get there at night, if you want to investigate at night, there's a tour during the day, which it says is very active during the day as well as at night. So, if you want to go there, I think the hardest part was probably driving if you choose to drive. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, I mean, I think the tour for the Alcatraz, the boat rides over there is probably like $150. So it was bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jenny, if you had a place, where would you like to go?
I saw this one show. It's like, I don't know if it's real. My daughter and I used to watch, what was it? Ghost of Shepherdtown in, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And we've always wanted to go there. I mean, a lot of it could have been just the hype of it for that show, but I feel that it would be very informative and possibly get evidence.
Well, one thing about from what I heard about that town, hell, the whole downtown is haunted.
Yeah.
There is no building that's untouched by paranormal activity in that town. And
exactly.
Hey man, how in the hell you ain't gonna get no sleep that night if you go want to spend the night in that town?
That's okay with me.
You're not gonna get no sleep. Now, my place, I'm sort of like you, Joseph. I want to head over to Europe, not so far the UK, but France.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I want to go to France. I want to set up the same location on Normandy Beach where all those soldiers got off that boat, and those machine guns just ripped those guys apart. And I can almost get
Yeah, my grandfather landed on our grandfather landed in Normandy.
Yeah. And I bet
and
you
he still
that
talks about it to this day.
Hey, I bet you there's some residual hauntings going there. You can actually hear the gun, hear the explosion, hear the screaming, and all that. And dude, that would be an amazing place to investigate. From what I heard, the beach is still closed for some reason. Some 80 odd years later, they have not removed all the landmines that the Germans put there, which I don't believe.
Well, there's a Normandy tour you can go on. It's a few-day excursion. It's like you land in France, they drive you down, bus you down to Normandy, and then you take the actual path that the troops took during the invasion. Overall, it's like a 5-day, and it's about 7,000 or so. But that was what I priced it at last time I tried to take my grandfather out there.
And then you actually land up in Berlin. Your destination would be Berlin, wouldn't it?
Wow. I don't know if it goes that far out, but it's looking at the itinerary. They have different routes, different tours you can take. 3 days, 5 days.
Man, for almost $8,000, we better end up in Berlin. You know what I'm saying? And then again, you got all those concentration camps. Can you imagine how that was? A concentration camp, all that death, all that sadness, all the sorrow. Oh my God, dude. I just couldn't imagine. That's like, me going to a plantation in the South. I always wanted to go to the Myrtles plantation in south of New Orleans, but they turned that place into a bed and breakfast.
Oh, wow.
Lights everywhere, man. You're not gonna catch anything.
I can imagine New Orleans. A lot of places there that probably have a lot of activity history there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but going to a plantation in Mississippi or Georgia where the actual big house is still there and investigate that place, can you imagine what kind of evidence you would get? Going to the slave quarters and capturing evidence on somebody crying or somebody weeping or hearing the task of a whip. It would be, oh my God, dude, it would be sad. I think I would cry.
Yeah.
Definitely. Where'd your brother go? He had to go pee-pee?
I think work's calling him right now, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, it's been an hour and 25 minutes, dude. Can you believe how time flies?
Yeah.
Been
fun.
Well, your brother went to work. Okay. Is there
No, they called him.
This is the part of the podcast. You guys have any questions to ask me or Jenny before I actually show you guys what I'm about to show you that's going to change your life?
Well, no, I think just communicating with you and getting information on new techniques, new investigative equipment, and so forth is something that's really sparked our interest. Because I keep constantly asking Joe, hey, is anything else you need me to buy? Even help you buy something. Just to get more tools. Like I said, we try to debunk stuff. Like I said, I want to debunk stuff, so I want to use multiple devices, multiple tools to do that and make.
You know the place I go to?
What's that?
This is gonna shock you, man. I go to, was it Five Below or Seven Below? What's the little store?
Five Below.
You know how many ghost gadgets, motion detection things that are in there?
There's no more Radio Shack, so that's
for paranormal.
Yeah, they have a lot of stuff there as far as lights, motion. Yeah, a lot of motion sensors, a lot of stuff like that.
A lot. And and like your brother said, man, you got to think out the box in this field because these ghosts are getting smart. They don't want to see the same thing twice over and over. You know what I'm saying? Hey, these ghosts are getting. Hey, they might be dead, but they're well educated.
I mean, they've been around for a while. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I keep stepping away. So I apologize, man. It's work. I'm on the call 24/7. So, you asked if you had any questions?
Yeah. You were saying that if we had any questions of you guys.
Yes. I mean, feel free to ask if you guys got any questions.
No, but I definitely want to say reach out if to collaborate. Like I said, it's all everybody, like I said, but as you can see, I've stepped away a few times just because my job is very demanding sometimes. So, but I'm all for collaborating and doing something with you, especially with the stories you've told us about the locations that you've been to and know about. Would love to do that. And most definitely I'll be there at that picnic if nothing from work pops up and I'm able to be there. Definitely want to be there and meet everybody and connect with everybody. Everybody in the paranormal community here in San Antonio has been nothing but nice to me. So since I've stepped into it and let our team, put our team out there for people to meet us. I said Midnight Paranormal has been great. I know Sydney, formerly of Gulgals, and now she has Texas Paranormal Society. They've been great. Gulgals still functioning now. They've been great. I met them too. I met quite a few teams at the Paranormal Fest, which was, everybody's just been so nice. So for everybody that, gets to join that picnic would be great to meet, connect, and share stories and just have a good time. So.
Okay, cool. There's one team that I'm really fond of. Dude, they are up and coming. It's a husband and wife team. So it's just two of them. They are looking for members. But Kukuri Paranormal out of
I think I've seen them. I think I've seen some stuff about them.
Yeah, out of South. Wait. Let me see. Out of Southeast San Antonio, if I'm right. Yeah, from Southeast San Antonio. They actually went to the OP Powerhouse with me. They followed me up there, dude, and we had a blast. We actually got a chance to investigate that historic house, and they caught some great evidence. They stayed a lot longer than I did, man. I was there. Dude, I was podcasting from 4 p.m. all the way into like 11 p.m.
Oh
Every,
wow.
yeah, everybody that came into that facility, I literally did a podcast on. And then they put me on at the gazebo where there was like 2,600 unmarked graves on that in that ground.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that house was actually built before this town itself was actually built.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So the owner the house was actually abandoned. They went in and redone everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the house actually sits on 1, 2, 3 floors. Yeah, and it's crazy. All right, guys. Go ahead, Jenny.
Oh no,
Oh,
I was saying it's crazy.
yeah. All right, guys. It's time for the big reveal. Are you guys ready for this? Before I let you guys go.
Let's do this. See it.
Been keeping us in suspense all time.
Yeah. I dropped it.
Oh, no.
Oh.
All right, I'll put those right there. You ready? These are the reasons why I and me and my team do not use cameras. Because we found out, like I was telling you guys earlier, we were losing evidence because our mind and our bodies are set in a certain way where we have to, it's really not our fault on how our bodies work. That's just the way we are. When we hear something, our head moves first. That's just the way it is. But I am going to show you guys something that changed my life. You guys ready?
Yeah. I knew his glasses. Those camera glasses, yeah.
Changed my life.
Where did you get those at?
I don't know if you guys been on my page and seen these.
I have not seen those. I've been on your page. I haven't seen those.
Okay. Yeah, they should have been on my page. These things here, I had them imported from China. Now, tell me everything that your camera has. And I can tell you everything that these glasses have.
The typical motion sensor, night vision, all that good
Autofocus,
stuff.
yeah.
Focus, autofocus.
Focus.
Yeah.
Lights.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, 4K,
Nice.
infrared, 1080p, motion detection, and guess what? Bluetooth.
Oh, cool.
And let me ask you guys a question. How long is your gigabytes in your SIMs card? How long they last?
Oh, mine. I buy the large gigs, so pretty up there.
Right, 120, 128.
128. All my cards are 128.
Okay, but hold up. This is 520.
Sorry.
Yeah. Wow.
This is 520. So, and it has internal memory.
Right.
So if your memory ever runs out, which I don't think it does, it shouldn't, unless you're recording all damn night and all damn day.
Mm-hmm.
You got plenty of memory. You got plenty of video and audio time to actually do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as I put these on, and they are pretty cool. Bam.
Yeah.
They look just like those guys baseball glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Safety glasses.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, guys. When we were talking about that camera moving, so what's going to move first? When you move your head, you're actually going to catch whatever you thought that you saw. You're actually going to catch that right here because the camera's right here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes. So you actually catch that extra 2 seconds before that camera even moves. You know what I'm saying? So just want to throw that at you. See what you think. And they actually have these here. So if you're actually out investigating during the day, like at a cemetery, your eyes, don't like the glare, you can actually put these in there. What do you think?
I like it.
Those are nice.
Oh yeah. And the good thing about it, because I noticed that your brother wears glasses, he can take these things to his doctor, his eye doctor, and have his lenses retrofitted for these here.
Yeah.
So, and the good thing about it, these glasses, the hardest thing is waiting for them to come to get imported in from China. And we all know China does top of the line everything. I don't care if they got bubble gum. That's gonna be the best damn bubble gum you ever had. You know what I'm saying? Because they proud themselves to be better in the United States, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this changed my life. And I don't have that big bulky camera anymore.
Yeah, my arm gets kind of tired sometimes when that'd be great.
Yeah, our camera guy has a whole rig. He does a rig, a shoulder rig, so he's gonna be holding us.
So, just imagine if each one of you guys was to have that camera on, those glasses, and able to still do what you do, but you're able to have these free. You're not. You can do so much with these hands since they're not holding that big bulky camera anymore. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, what do you guys think?
No, it's awesome. I've used similar things similar to that. When I worked corrections for a good amount of years, and as part of the CERT team, which we respond to like incidents inside the jail, we had to document and actually have everything recorded. So I think right before I had left, they had started switching into the glasses. They had experimented in using those glasses, and they actually worked pretty good. So definitely have used something like that, not in paranormal investigations, but in other similar another job. So definitely, yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, I don't think they were that advanced. So I think they were simple. It was just like simple camcorder. It wasn't as advanced as they are now, obviously. So.
Now, and people ask me, what's the difference between these and GoPros?
The
difference is between these and GoPros are your GoPro sits on your chest, unless you want to get that helmet that your GoPro is way up here, but with the GoPro strapped on your chest, the object is to catch evidence. So your body is still not going to move the way that you want it to. It's no matter what, it's still going to be your head. And either your arm, depends on what it is. If you got that camera, it's going to be your arm. Your hand. If it's your GoPro, it's going to be your torso. Your torso is going to be your head, then your torso.
Mm-hmm.
So. I really don't. That's why I quit using my GoPro, because I really don't see me getting anywhere with them, unless I want to go deep sea diving or something.
Yeah.
But then again, I really can't find a reason why I should use them.
No, it's awesome. Yeah. It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're fortunate. Save up some money. Buy some.
Yeah. So, guys, 1:37, an hour and 37.
Good conversations.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about this podcast? Talk to me.
It's great, man. Right off the top, your intro was pretty awesome, and then just talking to you guys, it's good just to have open conversations, open dialogue.
Yeah, definitely.
This is my first podcast. It's my first one, so.
Now, hey, tell your brother to go buy you a beer after this.
I actually bought him the beer. He's been drinking it this whole time.
Oh, darn.
I go off screen for
he's been going off screen just taking a sip.
After midnight, I wouldn't care. Your midnight show.
Yeah.
Adults only.
Well, hey,
we'll get on that one. We'll just probably really be inebriated by that.
Hey, that's one thing that on that midnight show, bring your beer, bring whatever you want to do, drink, and just come on and let's just talk. Talk like men, talk like grown people, grown women, grown people, and just talk about the paranormal. not what not what you guys see every day, but basically from what you guys feel in your heart on the way the paranormal should be ran, and you know what, and all the BS that comes with it. A lot of people are afraid to express their feelings because people are afraid that, oh, I might hurt somebody's feeling out there. But if you're not, the crazy thing is, if you're not directing it to a certain individual, it shouldn't matter on what you say because you're not directing it towards that person. You're just speaking in general. And that's what that show is all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it has been a pleasure talking to you guys.
Likewise.
Jenny, any closing comments from you?
No,
We look forward to what you have next in store.
yeah, no, I appreciate y'all bringing us on and talking with us. Definitely just check us out. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Our show is only streamed on one platform, which is Paraflix. It's a really cool new streaming service that launched about a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago now. And it's all paranormal shows. It's like Netflix, but for the paranormal. The links are in our bio if you ever want to check it out. They have like a free day trial on there. I think right now they have a deal for Black Friday. It's like a month off. You get a free month, I think. A lot of cool shows, a lot of cool people you can reach out to, maybe get on the podcast and stuff. So Natalie Jones, the CEO, she's really great. She's the one who first started it off with some other really cool individuals. So but she does a lot of events and stuff, has a lot of cool stories you can probably talk about with her. So if you ever get a hold of her, she'd be a good guest for you to talk to. But yeah, just reach out if anybody ever has any questions or wants to collaborate. We're always for it. So.
Okay. Hey, if you guys ever see Katrina Whiteman, tell her I got a big crush on her. I've been admiring her for years. And I would love to sit down and do a podcast with her. I got a big crush on her. I'm not going to lie. I got a big crush on her.
She's been on the midnight showing, and then have a few drinks, and then Professor Love, with that liquid courage in you.
Yeah, but she don't have time for us. She's big time now. But
hey,
guys,
don't never say never.
I really enjoyed coming on, talking to you guys, man. I really appreciate you guys coming on the show and talking to us. I just got one request. Joseph, can you please put a phone number on your Facebook page?
Oh, will do, sir.
Yeah.
Because, man, I've been trying to get that Instagram, man.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know why it happened that way, man. I apologize. Like I said, it didn't come through Messenger. I'm like sitting here with my Messenger refreshing, and then for some reason Instagram got it, and I was like, okay. So I had to log into Instagram.
All right, guys. Hey, I got to make it to the store to grab a beer. So, hey, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. Miss Jenny, I appreciate you coming on the show. I will see you tomorrow evening. I think we're headed back up to Dallas for another podcast. I'm not quite sure because I got a laundry list of investigators that comes on the show. So unless I look on the calendar, I really couldn't tell you. But anyway, hey guys, appreciate it, man. Hey, and
thank you
guys at the Paranormal Picnic in March. If not, I know where you live at. I'll come knock on your door. All right. Hey, guys. Hey, NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Hey, tell the world how to get a hold of you before we get out of here.
The Paranormal Journal. We're on every platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Paraflix. If you follow us on Instagram, you can find the links in our bio for the show itself and stream all the episodes on Paraflix.
Cool. All right. With enough said, guys, hey, reach out to these guys, man. Show them some love. And, hey, make sure that, if you want to collaborate with them, if you want to go hang out with them, give them a call. And I'm pretty sure they will set something up with you. But in the meantime, NSPS TV, signing off. Peace. Hey, you guys have a good night now.
You too, man.
Good night.
You too.